Okay, this video today is going to be on the use of a ferrocerium rod and how to start a fire with it. Decided to do this one for my friend Ed, who's bought several of these and never used one. Today I'm going to add a twist to it though. Instead of just starting a fire, in a nice controlled environment such as the shop, with no wind, no water, no cold or anything. I'm not going to make it cold in here, and I'm not going to flood the shop out, but what I am going to do is I'm going to turn on my oscillating fan, turn it on high to where it's blowing directly over what I'm trying to start, and then we can look at the different advantages of 4 different fire starters. We've got a Bic lighter, the really fancy wind and waterproof NATO issue matches. I think these are like $10 per 25 or something. Regular old Diamond Strike Anywhere matches, and the ferrocerium rod. So to start off with, your environment will probably be a little bit different. Around here, I like using sagebrush bark, aspen bark, cottonwood, poplar, pretty much anything that's been dead for a while and the bark is starting to peel off like that. Pretty much you just peel a portion of this off. If it's been snowing, which we don't really get a whole lot of rain, if it's been snowing or raining a little bit, you can take the inner portion of this bark, get yourself a good handful or double handful. Go ahead and get all your next step of tinder ready. Your small twigs, your pencil size, magic marker size, all that kind of stuff ready to start with. Today we're just going to get a flame. We're not going for the the whole starting of a fire deal. But anyway, so you get that, you work it up, you break it up some, rub it back and forth between your hands, if your hands are dry anyways. If it's been raining or snowing, you can gather this on the underside of trees. A lot of times they'll be a little bit drier. And just break it up. You don't have to get it super fine. We're not trying to start a fire with the old flint and steel and char cloth. Anyway, you break it up real nice and good. And here's a nest that's already been done, so we'll just add it into that one. And we'll turn the fan on. There's high. We can start off with a Bic lighter. As you can see, it won't keep a flame going, not with the wind going. With my hand in the way, it is doing a little bit. You can also put it on the lee side of your tinder bundle and use your tinder bundle to shield the flame to get one going. Problem with Bic lighters is once they get wet, they have to dry out considerably before you can use them. And we've got the Strike Anywhere matches, the diamond tip, and we'll grab a couple of these. Strike it in the wind, you get a half a second, and then, there we go. So strike it on the upwind side. Oh, we actually got it going that time. Maybe my fan isn't blowing hard enough for this, because I've been plenty of places where you couldn't get one started like this. Or you can go on the leeward side. Oh, that one went out. It had too much wind on that one. The fancy matches, they work a little bit better. They've got a striker on top of the box. I don't know if these are Strike Anywhere or not. Okay, we got it smoldering. But if we stick it up tight up underneath the off-wind side, we're going to get enough that we might get a flame going. Maybe. Get some more wind in there, maybe it'll get lit off. Not quite. Okay, and now my personal favorite, the ferrocerium rod. This is a 3/8 inch rod. I can't remember where I got this one, but when I ordered it, it was just a 3-inch rod. So I grabbed a piece of handle material that matched my hunting knife. This is Bolivian rosewood, and then pinned it and epoxied it in. So it's pinned and epoxied, so it's not coming out of there. The loop, you can stick your finger through there to give yourself a little bit extra purchase if you need it. Most of my knives are differentially hardened, which means that the ricasso and the edge up to maybe half of the width of the blade is hardened steel. The spine is still soft and it's rounded off, so the spine will not catch sparks, not at all. But I don't want to have to live with a really sharp spine because it'll cut into your thumb. It's uncomfortable to use. This knife has got a large ricasso so that you can wrap your finger, you can choke up on it. I'm right-handed, so this side needs to be rounded, but this side I don't hardly ever come into serious contact with it, so I sharpen that at a good angle to where it'll make sparks off the ferro rod. The way I use a ferro rod is to make a fist, put that fist down on the ground or wherever your tinder bundle is, place the rod up underneath where that sharp angle is, and strike your sparks into it. Now the nice thing about a spark-based, now of course on camera it's going to give me fits. The nice thing about a spark-based fire starting system is that the wind actually helps it. Once you get a spark to catch, it needs that wind to light off. And so in certain parts of the country where you have a lot of wind, Wyoming is one of them, you might as well use the wind to your advantage and use a fire starting system that the wind helps instead of hurts. A lot of times when you see somebody starting a fire like this, they'll strike a spark into it, and then they'll grab their tinder bundle and hold it up in the air and then blow on it to give it more oxygen. Here most of the time all you have to do is get some sparks in there and then just step back and let the wind get to it. Well, I've got an ember in there, but just not quite catching. That could be because I didn't break this up into finer and finer and finer stuff. There we go. You saw that ember stand for a little bit, and then as the wind caught it, it blew it into life. Another nice thing about these ferro rods is you can use them over and over and over again. I don't know how many fires I've started on this one, and you can tell it's worn down a little bit, but it's, you know, I've still got plenty of life in it. You can also dip these in water, and it won't hurt them. About the only time I've ever had a problem starting a fire with one of these, I'd fallen into a lake. It was the middle of winter. There's about a foot of snow on the ground, and I was on a rock looking at something or other, and I slipped off the rock and fell into the water. Well, I fell up to about my chest, and my feet never even came close to touching the bottom. I was able to claw my way up out of the lake, some nearby rocks where I could get enough purchase on there. I got out, but I was completely soaked, and I was shivering really bad, had the beginning stages of hypothermia. I got up onto the bank and I grabbed my ferro rod. It was a different one than this. Gathered some tinder, and I'm striking sparks and nothing's happening. Well, I stopped for a second, and then what I realized was that my shirt and my coat were also soaked, and they were running water right down into my tinder bundle. They say hypothermia also affects your thought processes. It could have been that day. Anyway, stripped my shirt off, shook off a little bit, grabbed some more tinder, got a fire going, built it up into a roaring blaze, got warmed up enough, got warmed up and dried out a little bit to where I could walk back to the truck and get into the nice warm cab. Anyways, this is the one that I like the most. Other folks might like something else, but there you go, Ed. Hope you enjoyed it.